You're listening to Strange by Nature, your guide to the strange, weird, unbelievable, and improbable wonders of the natural world.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here today. I'm Kirk Mona, and joining me are Rachel Gimza and Victoria Thompson. We're all naturalists who together have scoured the world for weird and wonderful wonders, just to please your mammalian brain's desire for novelty. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hey.
I'm here with both Kirk and Victoria. What a great time. I'm excited about my topic this week, so we're going to dive right in.
Great.
I'm also excited about my topic.
Oh, yes. I love it. We're almost always excited.
Mine's gross.
Exciting.
Always fun, too.
That is always fun. Now, my topic this week is a creature feature.
Nice.
When you think of the world's most aggressive or fiercest animal, what do you think of?
Oh, polar
Just
bears.
off the top of your head.
Honey
Polar
badger.
Honey badger. Mm-hmm.
Polar bear is really great.
They are pretty
aggressive.
Hippos.
Mm-hmm. Hippos.
Yeah, hippo. Mosquitoes.
Ooh. Yeah.
Tsetse flies.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
They insist upon themselves.
They do. So I am this week talking about the honey badger.
Oh.
Hey,
Kirk guessed it.
It's there.
Nice
Kirk
job.
guessed it.
Nailed it.
And it's
Ding, ding, ding.
considered
Bonus
one of
points.
the more aggressive, but it might not actually be, but it is pretty, it's pretty fierce.
Okay.
Part of the reason why I wanted to talk about it this week is because it was actually in this year's March Mammal Madness.
That's
and
right.
It went pretty far, but didn't end up winning this year. This year's winner, spoiler for anyone who wasn't following along, it was the humpback whale that won this year's March Mammal Madness. I beat my fiance, so that's all that matters to me.
Amazing.
Have you
And
stopped
we'll
beating
talk
your
about
fiance?
it more, but we talked about how we are going to do March Mammal Madness on the podcast next year.
Yes.
And let our patrons are going to get to, you can all play along, but our patrons will get access to some special bonus content where we discuss what happened each round. So that's going to be really cool. But we'll talk about that next year.
I'm excited about it. Yeah. Anyway, so it just was brought up back on my radar because of that this year. So I thought, we haven't talked about this mustelid. We might as well, right? So what is a honey badger? Well, a honey badger is in the same family as weasels, actually. It's closer to weasels and otters than it is to a North American badger, technically.
Yeah, okay. Kind of makes sense,
Phylogenetic tree-wise. But it is in the mustelid family. They are the largest terrestrial mustelid in Africa. They are anywhere between 55 and 77 centimeters long in body length. In American, that is 22 to 30 inches long, which that's big. Don't get me wrong, but I thought they were bigger as well. And
is that including the tail?
That is including the tail.
Wow.
Wow,
yeah,
they are
so
smaller
they're not
than I
as
thought.
It is not as big as you would think, but it's still pretty impressive. So it has the look of, when you think of a badger, it looks like a badger. It has a black underbelly, like a line going across the middle of its entire body, from its head all the way down through its back and its tail. The top of which is this cream whitish color interspersed with some maybe black striping. And below that is all black. Now, the biggest thing that's pretty important is that it has really loose skin, which allows it to turn and twist much easier, especially if it's something grabs a hold of it, that the honey badger is still able to twist and grab a hold, and it's just the skin that's being pierced rather than the whole body.
Honey badger don't care.
They don't care. Thank you, Victoria.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're pretty cool. Not only are they a carnivorous species and pretty solitary, but they have pretty few natural predators, partially because of that skin. Not only is it like relatively loose, but it's pretty thick as well, which makes it really hard for any other animal to try to get to it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. And it's also really what's the word?
Badass.
Yeah, badass is absolutely the word. They are very
Self-confident.
well known. They are well known for how ferocious they tend to be, especially if they are attacked. Where they are found is pretty much all of Africa, most of the Middle East, except the Sahara Desert space. A big chunk, most of the Middle East, and then also includes the southern part of India. So they're pretty widespread.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't expecting. And I think they're really cool. So why do we care? So honey badger, not only are they like this fierce predator, but like Victoria said, honey badger do not care. They the reason why
Some
they're
people,
called,
If you don't know
what
why we're
referencing
saying that,
there, by the way.
there was a viral YouTube video from a long time ago.
forever ago.
It's a Z Frank video.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. So the genus of the honey badger is Mellivora. The species is Mellivora capensis.
Honey eater.
And honey eater. The reason why they're called honey badger is because they will eat honey. They will shocking. They will absolutely eat the nests of honeybees. Like they'll go into the hives, and the honey bees are obviously stinging
But honey badger
Don't care. Yeah.
It does not matter. It can be stung however many times, and it does not bother it in the slightest. And part of that is because they are immune to a lot of different venom. Not only are they not only do they not get affected by honeybee venom, but even more famously, they are, in my opinion, they are more known for eating snakes.
Yep.
Especially like cobras and such.
That's so crazy.
It's absolutely wild. They will eat whatever they can find. They'll eat berries, roots, bulbs, insects, frogs, beehives. They will. It's the only other weasel that has a less specialized, like a more generalized diet, is the wolverine, which we've also talked about on this show.
Wow.
And like they're fierce enough, they've literally chased lions away to eat the food that's there.
And they're just like, nah, man, it's a honey badger. Just
It's like, nah, man, we're walking away.
Not worth it, man.
No. Yeah. So
that guy's crazy.
Yeah. I wouldn't take a lion. So they've also eaten like black mambas.
Wow.
Like they'll kill them and eat them. And part of it is because, again, they're pretty immune to a lot of venoms. Part of it is because of their thick skin. It just can't penetrate into their skin as well. And that doesn't allow the venom to get into like the bloodstream. So honey badgers are really wild in the fact that they can chase off lion cubs, and they're not worried about snakes at all because of their anti-venom properties. Like it just doesn't affect their bodies as much. But also if they get like, say, a very common thing for a lot of predators is to grab the back of a neck of another prey animal. Mm-hmm. It's tough and loose enough that they actually can still like twist around and bite at the opponent, whatever is trying to grab it, it's still able to twist around because its
And
skin
bite
is so
'em?
loose and bite them,
Wow.
which I don't want to mess with because they also have like a really, really strong bite.
I bet they do.
Mm-hmm. And it's it's not as strong as like a Wolverine, but it is still pretty strong, especially for as small as they are. And then if they are scared in any way, shape, or form, which I don't believe honey badgers really can be, they are also able to, and I'm going to quote the San Diego Zoo here, drop a stink bomb.
Well, they are mustelids.
I mean, they are mustelids, yes.
So instead of spraying an odor like a skunk, they just drop like a package of like stinky liquid
Oh,
that they just the stink package and just mark the territory or like scare off whatever is scaring it, I guess. And it's just stinks. Otherwise, like most animals do not mess with a honey badger. They've also got really long claws that allow them to burrow up to 9 feet down, like
Wow.
long and then like 5 feet deep. And that's their tunnel because they're a burrower. And they'll go through like old termite mounds and rock crevices, whatever, and that's totally normal for them. Yeah, and like they're pretty fiercely protective of their babies as well. The mom is pretty protective of them and is the only one who raises them. The dad just goes away, which is pretty normal. And then they actually hold on and like keep their babies stay with them until they are 2 years. So they teach them how to hunt and everything. So that once they have babies, they're keeping them for 2 years to make sure that they have have all of the skills that they need to survive.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool.
which is a lot of skills that honey badgers have.
A lot of skills they do. Oof. Yeah. So that is what I have for you all today. I just wanted to talk about honey badgers because we hadn't talked about honey badgers, and they're pretty cool.
They're the bomb, basically.
Pretty much. If you want to learn more, there's so much more information about honey badgers that I couldn't cover, but they're really cool. My sources this week, I got some information from Wikipedia. The San Diego Zoo had a really great article. Discover Wildlife. The National Geographic had a great little write-up as well of the honey badger and something called Wildlife Nomads. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, it'll be Victoria.
Hey, we're back. Okay, Rachel, Kirk, I want you to name some animals that are sort of considered to be really good mothers.
Wow, starting
Honey
off similar
badgers.
way here.
Honey badgers, obviously.
Elephants
Yeah,
are really good mothers.
Humans?
yeah.
I
Some of
suppose.
them?
Humpback whales,
mom
to bring
was.
it back to my mom was too. Humpback whales.
Yeah,
Were
bears.
really
like,
good. Bears
known
are
for
pretty
being
good
protective,
at
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good examples.
Yeah,
Good
that's
choices.
that's all I can think of right now.
How about an animal that gives its life so its child can live? Literally, their
Oh,
body.
interesting. Like, as in they're devoured by their young?
Yes. Today I am talking about matrophagy, which means
Amazing.
mother eating.
Gosh. Yikes.
That's awesome.
Yikes.
Obviously, this is
That's
not
awesome.
like a super common strategy
No,
because it's pretty extreme.
Uh-huh.
that's so fun.
Fair.
Is this coming? When does this come out? Is it around Mother's Day?
Oh, God.
You know what?
Oh,
It's
didn't
coming
even think
out.
about that.
This is supposed to come out on the 6th of May, so I think we're fine.
Okay.
Wow, that would have been
I'm gonna look this up. When
Good
is
timing.
Mother's
I
Day?
think it's
the
probably the
15th
following weekend.
or 16th.
It usually is.
Yeah.
The 10th.
Or the 10th.
Okay.
Ooh, so this is
So-
Mother's Day week that this episode drops. Good
Uh-huh.
job, Victoria.
Good job, Victoria.
Good
Just
job.
in
Unintentional,
time.
but somehow
As a mother, I
appropriate.
think it was
Day.
the back of her head as her twins were devouring her alive, metaphorically.
I mean, historically, that is what twins like to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounded better in my head. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as I was saying, this is not a super common strategy, but there are several animals that do show this most extreme level of devotion to their offspring. I will say this is mainly found in invertebrates. The only vertebrate is actually kind of a edge case, and it's one, Rachel, that you talked about on the show a while ago.
Oh.
The Sicilian.
Yes.
If you don't recall, the babies scrape off the outer layer of the mom's skin with specialized teeth, which is gross.
Yeah.
But, the mom does
I had
survive
blocked
this
that from my
process.
memory.
The skin regenerates quickly, and the moms actually build up a thicker skin.
Moms have to.
Indeed. So in some ways, this in Sicilians is more similar to like lactation, where babies are fed off of the mom's body, but it's more of a renewable resource. But
Right.
Okay.
breastfeeding can also be painful. So I don't know.
Fair.
I've heard.
It's all relative. Okay, we're gonna get on to the really gruesome stuff now.
Yeah. That's why we're all here.
That's why we're all here. Many of the animals that are known to practice matrophagy are spiders, which I guess depending on how you look at it is either another reason to be more disgusted with spiders if you already hate and fear them,
Yeah.
or, perhaps a reason to admire their altruism as mothers.
Doesn't this come up in Charlotte's Web?
No.
No? Okay.
No, they eat the
Never mind.
pig.
So sorry.
Dies, spoiler alert.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if they ate her or not. That
No.
makes sense.
I think that would have been a very different
book
book
is-
if that had happened.
Dramatic enough, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, spiders, Victoria.
Okay, so a few examples. There's a few different ways it can kind of play out. Okay, so the black laceweaver spider, Amorobius ferox, the mother delays the process a bit by laying what are known as trophic eggs, which, so after the spiderlings hatch, she lays some extra eggs. These are unfertilized eggs that are specifically laid as a food source for the babies.
Okay.
So they eat those up, and then a few days later, the mother starts communicating with her spiderlings by drumming on her web in a certain way. This causes the spiderlings to rush her and start jumping on her back. Apparently, she isn't quite ready to go yet, so she jumps around to try to shake them off. Oh my god!
Uh-huh.
But eventually gives in, and they climb on her and bite her, injecting poison for a quick death, and then
That's nice.
suck out her liquefied insides.
Oh my
There
God.
it is.
Oh.
Liquefaction, a common
mean-
form of murder.
Yes.
Well, and spiders, yeah.
Since the mother is large relative to the babies, she serves as a sort of pantry for them for a few weeks to supplement what they can catch.
Nice.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. Interestingly, if spiderlings less than 4 days old are given to a non-related mother spider, they will consume her. But
Oh,
if they're older than 4
they're
days...
not picky, huh?
Yeah, they're not. Well, but if they're older than 4 days and sent to a foster mom, they will turn up their little spider noses at her and will not get that extra nutrition. They won't eat
They're
her.
picky. Got it.
But if a mom loses her spiderlings, she can lay a new clutch of eggs and try again.
Okay.
But then they will eat her.
Yeah. So this is a one and done. I'm a mom
Yeah.
once.
Now, I think it's worth pointing out that the creatures that do engage in this behavior tend to lay. This is a big parental investment, right? So, in
Right.
species where there's big parental investment, it tends to be fewer and larger babies. And this is the case with these spiders.
You got to make sure they survive,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next example. There's an Australian species of crab spider called Australomysidia ergandros.
Okay.
Which also, oh my God, the mom makes trophic eggs also, but they are apparently so large that she can't pass them from her body.
Oh, come on.
And then,
Oh no.
No.
okay, so unfortunately, according to the
I see where this is
Wikipedia
going.
payback,
I
article,
don't like it.
Kirk, this is payback.
I was not able to verify this information because the sources cited were closed access, paywall.
Sure.
But according to the Wikipedia article, and there was not a lot of information out on the web about this. Okay, the eggs liquefy inside her and meld with her hemolymph, which is basically her blood, and then the spiderlings bite, I think, joints of her legs or something to suck her dry. It doesn't
On the inside?
totally. No, I mean they don't go inside her, but they
No.
bite her.
Oh, okay.
It's just a convenient spot to, create like
Got
a
it.
little juice station.
I'm not sure why she would make the eggs if she wasn't able, if they just dissolve again, but whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm stuck on juice station.
Would you prefer juicing station? Like,
Oh, gross. This is not what
Okay.
I want in my Jamba Juice. Thank you.
All right. And then there is the European desert spider, which is Stegodiphyus lineatus, which can only lay one clutch of eggs. While she's still gestating, her digestive enzymes start breaking down her own gut gradually.
that's...
After the eggs
Okay.
hatch, she regurgitates food from her body for the spiderlings, while her insides continue to degrade and liquefy.
So she's barfing herself up for
Yes,
Uh-huh.
she is.
them. Oh.
Eventually, she completely liquefies inside pretty much entirely, and the babies then puncture her and drink her dry within a few hours.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Here we
Talk
are.
about the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
Several other species in this genus, maybe all the species in this genus, also practice matrophagy, including some social spider species that practice a variant that's called gerontophagy, which, if you know your Latin at all, is like eating
Right.
old people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is where spiderlings will not cannibalize their peers, but they will eat their moms and other old adults.
Wow.
There are other
That
spider
is
species.
they
really
went-
something.
Oh, go ahead.
They went new generation to taken over.
That's
at
right.
Your time's end.
There are other spider species who do this, but we're going to move on to some other groups of organisms here. There is
Oh, okay.
one known species of earwig, which is a kind of insect,
Uh-huh.
Anatura harimondi, where babies completely consume the mom, not even leaving an empty husk like these spiders we were talking about, just straight up eat all of her.
They clean their plate.
Wow.
That's
They
important.
clean the plate, yes. They're members of the Clean Plate Club.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. In some species, this behavior is, like matrophagy, is dependent on the environment. So, for example, the pseudoscorpion paratemnoides
Ooh, I love pseudoscorpions.
nidifactor, yeah. This seems to occur when there's some food scarcity. So it's like a strategy the mom will employ if there's nothing else to feed her
Okay.
babies.
Okay.
This seems to be the case in some spider species as well. Okay.
That kind
I-
of makes more sense in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've saved the best for last here. Best in
So
my.
excited.
Okay.
I love it. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
going to talk to you about insects from the order Strepsiptera, which I had never heard of. They don't
No.
even have a real common name as a group, although they're sometimes referred to as Stylops, which is the name of one of the genuses in this order.
Okay.
Okay.
The reason they're so little known is that, of course, they are endoparasites.
Of course.
of other
they are.
insects.
Oh, good.
Yeah. They can
love that.
Yeah. They can only briefly be found outside of a host. They are weird
Okay.
in lots of ways, and I may actually be doing a whole separate episode on them now that I've read about them. But
Okay.
That's fair.
for the purposes of this episode, just know that the females have a very underdeveloped reproductive system and lack ovaries or any kind of genital tract.
Okay.
So,
So it's just open in the gut.
uh,
Just maybe.
when they mate, the male performs what is known as a traumatic insemination,
Yeah, that's not uncommon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
making a hole
Yep.
to deposit the sperm.
Uh-huh.
But there being no genital tract, fertilization and egg development occurred
Yeah.
directly in
Just
the
wherever.
hemolymph, which is like
Yeah.
the big
That's the blood.
bag of blood inside the insect,
Uh-huh.
which is it's interesting. It's a way to do it.
Just mix everything together and
Yep.
shake it up.
It's a mixed bag.
When the eggs hatch, then the babies consume the mother from the inside out.
Oh, of course. You know,
Yep.
in a way,
Well, how else are you gonna get out of there?
Right?
in a way though, you wonder like, is that kind of how it all began?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that seems
I mean,
like the easiest way to do it.
the easiest way is probably being laid an egg and just out you go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, but I mean, easier from an evolutionary standpoint. Like,
That's fair.
inject your DNA into something else. This new thing starts to grow. It devours the food around it, and boom, you got more of them now. Like that feels like the most simplistic form of reproduction.
Does feel
in a way.
primitive.
So
Yeah,
we had
I'm not
discovered the
advocating for
plot.
it.
We've discovered the plot of Alien, everyone.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
yes. All right. Okay. Well, that's the last one. You're welcome. That's what I have.
I loved that, Victoria. That was so fun. What a wild thing. Just can you imagine being
lot.
the mom and just like feeling your guts become liquefied? What does that feel like? being like
No, I
goo.
can't.
No.
Ooh. Huh. Anyway,
My
Cool,
my
thanks.
source this week was pretty much Wikipedia. Like I tried to track down some of the articles and they were all paywalled, so I looked at the abstracts, you know. There wasn't a whole lot else out there that seemed legit on the web. So just hoping that those Wikipedia article authors got it right.
some days.
Yeah. All right.
It's really cool though.
They're not the joke they once were.
No.
True.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Kirk will have something for us.
This week's episode is brought to you by the Society of Strange. That's what we call our patrons over at patreon.com/strangebynature. Society members directly support the show they love, and depending on their level of support, get fun perks such as bonus content on select shows, insider photos, water bottle stickers, and here's a big one, every level of support gets every episode 100% ad-free. Come join the other lovers of the show, help keep this strange show going, and get those ad-free episodes. We'll see you all over at patreon.com/strangebynature. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we are headed into one of the strangest and most powerful natural forces ever to shape the American South. Now, that is saying a lot.
Okay.
This is a land shaped by hurricanes, right? So this is not hurricanes, though. This natural force wasn't really like a single storm or a flood, although it was related to both. It wasn't like a tornado or an earthquake. It was a log jam.
Okay.
That's fair. Log jams are wild.
Now,
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started, but I used to have to I used to teach stuff about like
exactly,
the lumber industry and things.
Yeah.
Just oh my god. wild. Couldn't
Well,
imagine.
Let's start off there. I mean, we're here in Minnesota where we are no strangers to log jams, at least historically. When the lumber boom hit, the forests of northern Minnesota were just completely felled and were cleared to help build this country. And so we certainly had a lot of log jams back in the day. There was a massive 1894 log jam at Little Falls on the Mississippi River, which stretched for 7 miles.
Yeah. Can you imagine having to try to like
untangle that?
Those things are so dangerous.
One or two. It's so
very
dangerous because you have to move one, and then you're on the logs on the river, moving these logs out of the way so that way you can get
a moving game of Jenga.
Form. Yes, and you're on the Jenga piece.
And you're on the piece, yeah. There was another massive famous log jam that occurred in 1886 at Taylor's Falls on the St. Croix River, which is the river between Minnesota and Wisconsin, that spanned for 2 miles and reached 100 feet in depth.
Yeah.
Which...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually know about these,
deep.
So this is not a surprise. But
100 feet deep.
Yeah.
Log stacked 100 feet high and down. Yeah.
River even that deep?
Apparently.
I think it was like depth, like top to the bottom of the log jam. I don't know that all those are necessarily underwater, although the water is quite deep in some spots in that near Taylor's Falls. They actually had to use dynamite to blow that one up and get the river moving again.
Yeah, they did. They don't want to do that. That's like the least optimal way to get rid of a log jam.
Yeah. These were man-made calamities, though. The log jam that I'm talking about was not created by humans. This was a log jam so vast, so old, and so influential that it reshaped entire rivers, created new lakes, and determined where towns and cultures would rise. It was actually called the Great Raft, and it was found on the Red River, which is a major...
Oh, it also goes through Minnesota.
Yeah, not the same Red River.
Different one.
Not the same one?
No, definitely not.
I had to check.
We're in the south here. This is... Okay. There's more than one Red River, confusingly. This is a 1,360-mile tributary of the Mississippi River that runs through Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. And the water is red with sediment, and it really does look like a red river, which is, I think, kind of cool and noteworthy. So, have either of you heard of the Great Raft?
No.
It
I heard of the other ones that you talked about.
Absolute shame that this is not studied and talked about in history books. The Great Raft was not a temporary obstruction caused by logging. It wasn't a seasonal buildup or a freak event. The terrain of the area, expanding forests, landslides, storms, all of these contributed to the Great Raft. It is estimated that the origin of the raft may go back 1,000 years.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So imagine a log jam mostly existing in the same place for 1,000 years. And some people believe...
I would say that it lives there now. That's what it is.
Yeah, it may have been there even longer.
Just a landscape feature at that point.
Yep.
Yeah,
this is just what this is. It's been there for 1,000 years. There's whole ecosystems within that raft now.
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, this wasn't a freak accident. This was an ecosystem that formed slowly as storms toppled cypress and hardwood trees into the Red River. And over time, those trees interlocked, they trapped sediment, and they created a dense, layered mass that grew thicker and longer with every flood of every season for thousands of years. And by the time Europeans documented it, or in the early 19th century, the raft stretched for more than 100 miles.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's not even a river at that point.
Now.
It's just a...
No, it was not a river at that point. Some sections were so solid
it stops.
that people and horses could walk across. Plants started to grow on top of the raft. In some, by some accounts, they said the only way you could tell that you were on the river is that there were no trees. There was trees on the left and trees on the right, and then you were on the raft in the middle.
Trees underfoot.
And water
There's trees
did
underfoot, yeah.
water did move through. This was not a static structure. It shifted, it rose, it settled
So
as the river
it's
changed.
not a bridge.
No. It backed, you can imagine this really stopped up a lot of water. And so this made water back up into the surrounding lowlands. It created a long chain of long, narrow lakes. You have Caddo Lake, Cross Lake, Black Bayou, and others owe their origins to this strange natural dam. And basically created an absolutely enormous ecosystem of one of the largest, wetlands in all of North America was created by this logjam.
That's so cool. But
Now-
oh man, high risk, high reward if you're going across that.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
these lakes that were created were a really big deal. They became ecological engines that were they were feeding wetlands, they were attracting wildlife, and they were shaping the landscape in ways that remain today, even though, spoiler alert, the raft is gone now. The raft, having been there for at least 1,000 years, had shaped not just the land, but the lives of the indigenous nations who lived along the Red River there, and also nearby rivers as well, because the water just spread out
It's
over the
going
banks. Yeah.
everywhere, yeah.
So for the Caddoan people in particular, the raft and the lakes it created were central to their daily lives. The backed up waters formed rich fishing grounds, fertile floodplains, and also reliable transportation routes, which might seem kind of strange at first, because but I thought the river was all full of logs, right? But remember, because the river's full, the water is spreading out and creating bayous that were navigable along the rivers, right? So villages were built along the lake shores, and trade networks grew around the waterways that the raft helped create. And to the Caddo, the landscape wasn't an obstacle. It was a resource, it was a provider, and it was the entire stabilizing force of their culture. The raft also influenced the Atchafalaya River. Water that couldn't move freely down the Red spilled into the Atchafalaya Basin, and it fed one of the richest wetland systems in North America. And so this too shaped the indigenous life, having this incredible basin right there. The basin supported hunting, fishing, gathering, and seasonal movement. It also offered protection because it was sort of hard to get around or through. So there was protection from other tribes to the west and protection from the Europeans to the east that were pushing in. So this was a pretty special place. And the raft's presence upstream helped maintain the balance of water that sustained these super rich environments. Problem is, the newly arrived European settlers, I don't want to say they didn't understand this. I think they pretty clearly did understand this. They just didn't care. Or they saw it as an opportunity to, destroy the raft and also destroy a troublesome culture that they wanted to get rid of in the meantime. So sort of a double whammy here. By the early 19th century, the raft had become a major obstacle to American navigation and commerce. It was all about steamboats those days, and steamboats couldn't pass the raft. And, settlers wanted to reliably move goods. Basically also, people were looking to open up the West to expansion. And that, if you think about where this river went, this was sort of a major route to get people into the newly purchased Louisiana territory that had been from the Louisiana Purchase. So this, the raft, basically, the government decided the raft had to go. And regardless of what its removal might mean for the people who had lived with it for 1,000 years,
or the environment and habitats that relied on it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also, there was also settlers too. There wasn't just native folks, indigenous folks. Settlers had also built towns, and their lives depended on the features of this area. And the government was like, we don't really care. So enter Captain Henry Shreve, a man whose name still echoes through the region. The city of Shreveport is named after him.
There you go.
Shreve designed a special snag boat, which is a kind of floating machine / sawmill / crane boat thing that could tear the raft apart piece by piece. His crews worked for years, cutting, hauling, blasting, and dragging. It was very dangerous work, very muddy, exhausting, but slowly the raft began to give way. And not surprisingly, removing it changed everything. The long, shallow lakes drained, or at least shrank. The Red River deepened and straightened. Some of the meanders kind of disappeared, which were so important to creating this bayou. Towns that had once sat on the water suddenly found themselves stranded. There was no more water. They were just in the middle of kind of muddy, wet areas. And so these towns were eventually abandoned. People suddenly had access to new trade routes, though. So it was a big time of change. And the entire basin shifted as water was finding new paths. For the indigenous communities, the transformation was profound. Fishing grounds changed or dried up. Flood patterns shifted. It wasn't good. Humans had messed with the ecosystem on a giant scale. Of this entire giant ecosystem, it's kind of like the prairies up where we live. Less than 1% remains today of what was, millions of acres. So sediments that had relied on lakes and wetlands were forced to adapt or relocate, and a landscape that had been stable for centuries was altered in just a matter of years. It is a really dark tale. I mean, it one of the side things is that, like, it's not like this is to this day a major shipping route or anything. It's like what we lost is probably greater than what we gained.
Right.
The Great Raft is one of the stories that reminds us of how, powerful, slow, steady, natural processes shape our landscape and ecosystems. And a forest essentially falling into a river over centuries, like, created a geological force that shaped not just ecosystems, but also cultures and economies. And when humans intervened, the consequences rippled outward in ways that I want to say no one could have fully predicted, but I think in a lot of ways it was predicted, and it was done essentially maliciously.
In spite.
Yeah, deliberately.
Which is pretty dark.
Worse.
It's a reminder that history isn't always made by, battles or, laws and things like that. Sometimes it's made by trees, water, time, and then always the choices we make about how we interact with the land. I will say this is a pretty fascinating topic. It's hard to really dive into it because it's so massive. It's really talking about an entire ecosystem and how it was systematically torn apart in a much faster time span, really, than something like, say, the prairies were, because it took a lot more time to really, bust up the prairies. So if people want to learn more about this, I got my sources. I'll say it was Red River Historian and 64 Parishes, which are two different websites, and then also some general dates and things from Wikipedia. There's a fantastic, 45-minute long documentary on this you can watch on YouTube from Milo Rossi. Do you guys know him?
Ooh.
He is a fantastic communicator. He has the channel Mini Minuteman, and he does talks about history, and he is very sarcastic and very opinionated and funny and does an awesome job of talking about history. So he did an entire long video on this if people want to learn more. Shout out to him.
Thanks, Kirk.
Cool.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the end of our show, everyone.
Oh my gosh, we're already here?
We're already at the end.
Well, thanks, Kirk.
Yeah,
thanks all of you.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
A lot to think about this week, and that's why we're here. So we'll see
Yeah.
everyone next time, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to today's show. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and we love sharing this strange world with all our listeners. If you would be so kind as to leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, that would be great. It lets other lovers of the strange discover the show. You can reach us by searching for Strange by Nature Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. You can send us an email as well. Our address is contact@strangebynaturepodcast.com. If you want more information about the show, you can check out our website, strangebynaturepodcast.com, and you can support the show and get ad-free episodes at patreon.com/strangebynature. Until next week, get outside, stay curious, and embrace the strange.